So in the last 28 days, this client has crossed the 100,000 in monthly organic traffic from SEO. Now we can see that same client here on SEMrush, see the growth over time. Basically started out in March of 2020, and we basically just hit 100,000 on SEMrush as well. Now, what I do want to talk to you guys about is this pretty significant drop that we've basically been able to recover and now have come back to that solid 100,000 in monthly organic traffic. Now, on SEMrush, things look a lot worse than they are. If we actually check the last 16 months for this client, this was more of a plateau. And now I do want to talk about the trend of growth, this spike, and most importantly, what has happened over the last month or so that has led to this incredible growth. So as we can see from the start, pretty standard growth. We're posting a lot of content, backlinks, the whole thing. There is a spike around here. Now it's important to note that this client is in the health niche. So in around January is when things spike. People start thinking about their health and fitness. Once again, right after that, we went into a deep plateau for around 8 months. And most recently, we had that spike. Now there are two main things that have happened that have pushed this website above the 100,000 in monthly organic traffic mark. The first thing is that we made a few key changes to the website that I'll dive into now during that plateau period to try and push that website just a little bit higher. And the second one was a Google update. And this seems to have favored our changes quite well. So there was a Google update that started around August 22nd, and there's always big fluctuations during those updates, but this client seems to have started seeing positive results right around there. So if we actually take a look at August 22nd, we see that the growth started right after that. Now, what are those changes that we made to that website? So to set some context here, most of the traffic from this website comes from very high quality blog posts that have phenomenal on-page, so very well-structured content that is written by an industry expert. But the main issue is that during that plateau phase, we had basically realized that we'd run out of topics to write about. So they have between 200 to 300 blog posts that are indexed on Google, some ranking, others not so much. But instead of getting creative, thinking about other topics that we could write about that aren't as core to the main business of the client, we decided to update older articles that weren't performing as well anymore. And so because of the niche, these articles are basically how-to guides where you can also plug in your product and your service quite easily. But in those guides and in those keywords that we weren't performing so well for, we noticed that there was a level of relevance in the content that we could add to ours that our competitors hadn't yet. And so that level of relevance was basically adding in our competitors as alternatives to our products with external links to their websites. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of giving link juice to my competitors, giving any type of authority to someone that I'm competing against, but this made us have the most relevant content around. And why did this work so well? Basically, a lot of the content that our competitors were creating were very focused on their own brands, on their own products, and they weren't creating very balanced or neutral content. So what we did is we basically one-upped them by combining all of our competitors into one massive how-to guide. And of course, we added our product at number 1. That has shown some great results. But again, guys, if we take a look at this plateau, it was quite a long plateau. And as we made those changes, we started seeing some results on some of those articles, but we were quite desperate around here. So instead, we decided to go for a more aggressive strategy, and we focused on backlinks. Now, if we go back into SEMrush here and we take a look at this growth report, we're basically comparing the last 6 months with the 6 months before that. So April to September and March to October from last year. So as we can see, a 15% increase in organic traffic, but more impressive than that, an 81% increase in backlinks and 51% increase in referring domains. So how the hell did we manage that? The first thing is that the content that we're creating for these guys already gets a solid amount of backlinks on its own because of the quality of it. But we decided to take this to a deeper level. So what we did is we added a lot more link bait to the content. So the main thing there is we just wanted to try and make it as easy as possible for people to give us a backlink. So we tried to highlight statistics, conclusions, and any main points that we could find in our article, in our content, and separate them with a very obvious kind of highlighted call out section. So here's an example from Healthline. This little summary section is very similar to the design of what we did with our highlights, our conclusions, our main points. And by the way, guys, this is also something that I recommend for pages that are currently already getting traffic, but maybe aren't your best converting pages. Try and milk those pages that have traffic to get as many backlinks as you can by adding some type of link bait. Now, link bait is great because you get links almost on autopilot, but the issue is that you have no control over who's linking out to you. And so as a last result, to try and get some type of reaction from Google while we were still deep in that plateau, we tried to go quite ham with digital PR and with Hero. And so we wanted to get a few high authority backlinks, and we were able to land some solid links. The most notable from Sports Illustrated, which then got reposted on a bunch of other places. So no crazy secrets to give away here, guys. Just revamping old content, trying to make the best possible article, even if that means mentioning your competitors, giving them some type of backlinks, creating a link bait machine, and also diving deep into Hero. Now, the greatest thing about all of this is that the client can sleep well at night knowing that all the work that we're doing is basically Google update proof. And more than that, it's cool to see that Google is actually rewarding some of the work that we're doing and pushing us up even higher, hitting that 100,000 in monthly organic traffic. If you guys need any help with your SEO, there's a link to my website down there with a form where you guys can reach out to me personally. I'll see you guys in the next one.